Everyone talks about the big names. You have the Vorpal swords, the staves of power, but true power isn't just about rolling dice. It's about what dice can't measure, the items that slip under the radar and the ones that change the game in ways that nobody expects. So grab your dice, ready your action, and why not hit that like button while you're at it as I take you through 5 super powerful magic items you've never heard of. Let's start things off with an item that can turn your cantrips into a fully functional automated weapon system with the Illusionist's Bracers. These bad boys let you cast a cantrip as a bonus action whenever you cast one as an action. This means double the firebolts, double the mind slivers, double the frostbites, and yes, double the eldritch blasts. And the best part about it is you're not locked into the same target. You can spread the love across all of the battlefield like some sort of arcane turret. Most casters live or die by the action economy, and if you have no spell slots left, then you're stuck casting a single cantrip per turn like some casting peasant. But with the Illusionist Bracers, you're effectively getting 2 actions per turn. For some casters, that's nice, but for a Warlock with Eldritch Blast, that is borderline criminal. At level 5, Eldritch Blast already fires 2 beams per cast. With these Bracers, you can fire 2 more beams with a bonus action. If you stack Agonizing Blast on top of this, that is insane damage scaling on a class that already outperforms most martial classes at range. Your fighter might be getting 4 attacks at level 20, but your Warlock is basically a sniper with a hair trigger. But let's not overlook how powerful these Bracers can be on a control caster. Double Rays of Frost allows you to hit 2 targets with movement penalties alongside decent damage for keeping targets at range. Double Mind Sliver means 2 enemies now have a minus d6 to their next saving throw, making it perfect for setting up big spell combos. Really, any caster that leans into cantrips, which is pretty much all of them, becomes a walking nightmare when they equip these Bracers. Now, the Bracers do require you to use your action to cast a cantrip, so you can't Fireball and then Firebolt in the same turn. But since the cantrips scale with your level, it is still wildly powerful, with no resource cost keeping it effective and relevant in all tiers of play. In reality, this item is kind of broken because it tears apart the entire action economy. They will double your firepower, turn cantrip spells into oppressive battlefield control spells, and make Warlocks the most terrifying ranged damage dealers in the game. If your DM ever lets you get your hands on these, then I wish them luck. So if you've ever wanted to roleplay as an automated weapon system, talk to the DM about the Illusionist Bracers. Next up we have a really cool thematic item which isn't really an item, but technically is an item with the Ghost Step Tattoo. This is a magical tattoo with 3 charges that you regain daily. You can expend one of these charges to become incorporeal and gain 3 different benefits. Firstly, you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks. Secondly, you can't be grappled or restrained. And thirdly, you can move through creatures and solid objects as if they were difficult terrain. But don't stay too long, because if you end your turn in a solid object, you take 1d10 force damage and are shunted out to the nearest unoccupied space. If you've ever had one of those moments in D&D where you question the laws of physics in your game, this item is a big middle finger to that conversation. Allowing you to phase through solid objects is super cool, but the power from this item comes from the grappled and restrained immunity. With 3 charges you regain daily and only a bonus action to use it, this effectively means you're immune to being grappled or restrained. This is so insanely powerful for obvious reasons and can be useful on literally any class. Monks already ignore half the game's physics anyways, but now they can moonwalk through walls. Rogues now have the ultimate getaway tool. And as for wizards and sorcerers, no need for Misty Step when you can just ghost through reality itself. So if you're looking for ways to get out of sticky situations, or just break the laws of physics, make sure to keep your eyes open for the Ghost Step Tattoo. Next up for today, we have a magical set of armor that allows anybody to be a rogue with the Clockwork Armor. This armor has 4 charges, and whenever you roll a d20, you can burn one of those charges to change that result to a 10. Doesn't matter if it's an attack, a saving throw, a skill check, or a death save. If you don't like what the dice gave you, you can just flip the script. And before you say, "Oh, but a 10 isn't that high," let me remind you that by the time you get access to this item, your modifiers will likely be high enough to guarantee success anyways. If you're rocking a +7 or higher, that is an automatic 17. If that's an attack roll, it's probably going to be a hit. If it's a saving throw, you're likely just barely surviving a lethal spell. If it's a skill check, you'll likely never fail another skill check again. It's effectively the rogue's reliable talent, but for any d20 roll instead of just for skill checks. Being able to override bad rolls effectively removes randomness from the game, which is terrifyingly powerful. Roll the 1 on your death save? Guess what? No, I didn't. Clockwork Armor doesn't make you unstoppable, but it does make you much more reliable. It's not infinite, but it's just enough to turn the tides of battle in your favor when you need it. So next time you're looking for an armor upgrade, keep your eyes open for the Clockwork Armor. Next up, we shift into the world of offense with the Baleful Talon. At first glance, this is just a +1 dagger that doesn't look too wild. But when you roll a 19 or a 20 on an attack, the target must make a Constitution saving throw, and if they fail, they take 6d6 necrotic damage, or half as much on a successful save. And if this damage would bring them to 0 HP, they're disintegrated. No body, no resurrection, just dust in the wind. Now to put that into perspective, every time you swing your dagger, you have a 10% chance to roll a crit-like effect that instantly removes someone from existence. While any rogue or dex-based character would love this magic dagger, the Baleful Talon rewards volume of attacks because the more rolls you make, the more chances you have to trigger the effect. For rogues, this is obviously great for sneak attacks. For dex-based fighters, in particular the champion fighter with their increased crit range, this means when you crit, you absolutely obliterate your target. And this item only gets more powerful when you consider the weapon masteries added in 2024. Since it has the Nick property, it gives you another attack, allowing you the chance to fish for another 19 or 20. Sure, a 10% chance doesn't sound much, but in long fights, it's just a matter of time until this dagger erupts in necrotic energy. And if that necrotic burst gets the final hit, then you don't need to worry about them getting back up again. So if your DM lets you get this dagger, then treat every fight like a lottery ticket, because one good hit might be all it takes to make an enemy disappear forever. And finally, we move on to the last item on today's list with the absolutely ridiculous, I don't know how this made it through playtesting powerful, Cloak of Displacement. Ever wanted to become the single most frustrating target in the entire game for your DM? Well, the Cloak of Displacement does just that, making not only your enemies, but your DM question their life choices. This bad boy creates an illusory duplicate of yourself, making it look like you're standing somewhere you're not. Mechanically speaking, this means that every single attack against you has disadvantage until you take damage, at which point this effect is lost. But don't worry too much because this effect refreshes again at the start of your turn. Simple enough effect, but insanely stupid powerful. This all but guarantees you'll dodge 90% of incoming attacks. And while every class likes not being hit, this cloak definitely works best on high AC characters just due to how advantage and disadvantage function. For high AC characters like fighters or paladins, this item turns you into a walking fortress. But as if disadvantage on all attacks wasn't enough, let's go full gremlin mode for a second and stack shield and other nonsense on top. Firstly, the shield spell. For your reaction, you can increase your AC by 5 until the end of the round, ensuring that nothing is going to hit you, maintaining the cloak's protection. Next, why don't we throw mirror image on top of that? Enemies now have to not only guess which copy is real, and on the off chance that they guess right, they then have to roll with disadvantage. And if by some miracle they still hit you, we can just force them to re-roll with silvery barbs. If you stack all of these, you aren't just hard to hit, you are nearly impossible to hit. The one weakness of this cloak is that it does nothing against saving throws. So if you take damage from anything like a fireball, even if you succeed on the saving throw, you lose the effect of the cloak. So just make sure you'll have a plan for when those situations come up, because, let's be honest, those situations are gonna come up. So if you get your hands on this cloak, make sure to keep a close eye on your DM's mental health, as their sanity is sure to unravel as their monsters swing at empty air round after round. It's not just game-changing, it's practically cheating. But what do you think? Are these some of the most powerful unknown magic items in D&D 5e, or did I miss some? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you're looking for more ways to enjoy the game, why not hit the like button and subscribe for more epic spell breakdowns, combos, and maybe some DM tips or two for DMs who have players that might watch videos like this one. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.